Down to stay out of the way.
Pretty good.
Hey, here you go.
This is my final paycheck.
Everything I know you can check for. Yeah, you do.
Where have you been? Where have you been?
Hiding,
Huh?
hiding.
No, you were gone.
Oh. Fishing.
Just like you could see over here, I could see over there.
I can't see you from back there. They're hiding.
God. Donna, are you doing Friends of Aguilar today?
This was before my time.
No. Your grandfather.
No,
Okay.
I'm not taking the blame for that one. Here's that.
Huh?
She approved it?
You guys have it. Mr. Garcia brought me some stuff today. It's flying off of the building. Yeah, so.
I think you should, because this guy's.
Oh, you just always say.
Twice, he said.
Yeah. Stuck out for a fool. Hello.
Thank you. Can you take it out?
Yeah, it's right.
Okay.
Should be, yes. Yes, I do.
I'm gonna run to Trinidad.
What's that?
There's a great sitting over already.
You know who that was? She was the
Red.
okay.
I just
I just have a lot of.
I guess I'll stick, I don't know if I want to sit next to stick. She goes, you can sit here. Even on my last name is only day.
Excuse me.
Because they all have.
Not bad manners, just good food.
Be sure to have with the rest of us, Mr. Romero.
Yes, of course, yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's off the truck. Okay. But it's on the truck. She asked me, "Is the truck?" And I said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh."
So other than that, no, nothing.
I'll see how everything goes.
Right.
Now call this meeting of March 27, 2025 to order. And Anna, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Here.
Mr. Barajas.
Here.
Ms. Gilman.
Here.
Mr. Romero. Mr. Thorne.
Here.
Mr. Trujillo.
Here.
Madam Mayor.
Here. Approval of the agenda with, I need to amend the agenda and add the bills for approval. And then under new items, I would like to add under D, firehouse.
What did you call that?
The firehouse, I guess that's what it's called, that little building. Is that what it is, the old firehouse by Lane Bardino's?
I don't know which one you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called.
Is it the firehouse
Where they had the,
where that car is and the fire truck used to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Harold Hall.
Old building,
There you go.
that one.
Yeah.
I thought someone said the old firehouse.
Can we add Daryl Hall also to this?
Did he sign up to speak?
No, but he was on our last meeting and we kind of left him in the air. That we were supposed to talk to 13th and it looks like he's the only one that wasn't added back to this one.
Under guest. And to add Mr. Hall under guest. After Friends of Aguilar.
And where are we adding the bill? Or is that the officer?
Under new, so it's gonna go under that old building.
We've got something that I think we need to talk about. We added to the agenda. We got an email from Mr. Corcoran. Bob Corcoran. Owner of Mercantile Base. And it came through from the town's email account. He's got some questions that he'd like to have answered on there. Or at least talked about by the board.
Okay, then I think this one should, if we're going to do this, that needs to go into executive session.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Okay, we'll do under new, we'll go after bills, and we'll add executive session. We keep discussing this account in the public.
No, so.
We'll have to go to
What
the
should
sheet.
be under section 4?
Okay. Can we go ahead and approve the agenda as is? Will you go do that? Okay, now can I get approval of the agenda?
Where are we putting Mr. Hull's?
I'm here. on
He's
behalf of
under
my
guest.
father.
He's gonna go under Friends of Aguilar. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda with the additions?
Make a motion to approve the agenda. With the addition of Daryl Hall, the executive session, the firehouse.
And the bills?
What?
Bills.
Bills?
Yeah, that's.
Roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Rojas. Ms. Gilman.
Yeah.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne,
Yes.
Mr. Trujillo.
Yes.
Okay, approval of the regular meeting minutes for January 23rd, 25.
One one issue on the resignation letter.
Oh, that's, yeah, tell you what, so when you're done, I'll add that to it. Go ahead.
This doesn't really properly represent what was said there. I had asked for a resignation, to speak about resignations, and I thought I corrected that at the beginning of it. And really wasn't about past issues with board and employees. It was about the actions of the board and how we should follow more state guidelines than what we're doing. And the other thing was the threats I had been getting that was kind of shot down.
So what is it that you wanted?
I wanted the wording to this to be changed from resignation letter to resignations. And that my thing was that we weren't following state guidelines on the council. And I brought up the issue of the threats that was ignored.
We weren't ignoring it, Mr. Thorne, but let me tell you, there was 2 officers sitting there. If you have a complaint, you need to file it with them because there is nothing that we can do.
I thought all the complaints went through the mayor, but I, for investigation, but I.
If it's
obviously
that
wrong.
you made accusations that people are threatening to burn your house down and stuff, the board cannot take care of that issue. That is a legal issue that should go through the sheriff's department. And also, while we're on the subject of your resignations, you never provided the board with the letter.
I never intended to resign. That's what I just
No.
said twice.
That's not what I'm saying. Whatever it is that you were reading, you did not provide it to the board. I
I did
asked
not
you
provide the
for
board with my
a copy.
personal notes. And please don't turn this into an argument.
I'm
I
not
just have-
turning it into an argument, Mr. Thorne. If you're going to share with the board, this is what we do.
Can
It's
I
all
have copy of
here.
everyone else's personal notes?
You were supposed to put it on here.
But there was no resignation letter. You're asking me for my personal notes. You want me to turn ones that I got for today?
Okay, so we'll just note that he refused to share whatever he was
There
doing.
was no resignation letter.
Okay, what else? Did you get what you have to change in the minutes? Okay, she's gonna make the changes now. Can we get the approval of the regular meeting minutes for January 23rd, 2025?
Motion we accept the minute with the changes for January 23, 2025.
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Barajas,
Stay.
Ms. Galvin?
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne,
Yes.
Mr. Treehill.
Yes.
Jack Wells?
Not here.
Okay. Ms. Carrie? Carrie Shaka?
Carrie Shaka. Good evening.
thank you all for what you do. I know it's a tireless job, so I appreciate what you guys are doing here and trying to make the community better. And obviously, I'm Aguilar's biggest cheerleader, always have been, trying to bring industry and new construction. So basically, I'm just here regarding my new build. I have 13 lots on the west end of town. Obviously, I put in an application for a sewer tap and also a water tap. I own 3 water taps already. I had a 2-inch commercial tap from my 5 acres out there on the old highway, and it was exchanged for 3 residential taps. I owned the tap since 2014, and then, you know, I'm not gonna have a commercial business out there. So back in 2019, I asked if I could exchange that for residential taps, because I plan on, you know, building up the town, having new residents, you know, come in and want our town to grow and prosper and get our tax base up so we can have more money for our, you know, tax revenue to our infrastructure. So anyway, I did call the state, talk to all the state water commissioners. They did let me know that the current moratorium is for new water taps. If there's existing water taps or existing things, they didn't have an issue. They did say that they had a meeting, you know, with you, and you guys are trying to, you know, make all your benchmarks to get everything, you know, so that the moratorium could be released, but they weren't exactly sure where that was because these were existing taps. It wasn't new usage. And I think that 2-inch commercial tap was like 200 gallons per minute, and a 3/4 inch residential is like 50. So I'm like not even using a quarter of what, you know, was already established within the town water. So basically, I'm just asking for approval of my sewer tap, because, you know, you have to build a new house, you have to be able to flush the toilet, and then to be able to just tap one of my 3 existing taps that I already have. And then of course, you know, I won't ask to do my other 2 that I already own until the moratorium is lifted or whatever, but I'd like to be able to proceed if possible.
I have 2 questions, if you don't mind. I got a copy of the letter from 2019, but a big section of it here is blocked out.
What was that?
They have that
You want to give it to him? That's my original or whatever, so if I could get that.
So
You want me to give it? Here, you're giving that one.
Thank you. And the other question was on the, let's see, sewer tap that came up in June 5th, 2019. It says here Sunnyvale Mobile Home Park.
Well, I was originally going to make a mobile home park out there, but then I kind of changed plans. COVID happened, and so I kind of shot that plan. I didn't want to do that, so I
But
was
you
doing my
just
new
went
build
already
here.
paid for it and you're just switching it to this other one?
Yes, yeah.
You know, Kerry, we have,
Yes, sir.
that moratorium has been in effect since 2010, I think. And we weren't supposed to give no tax at all. The state had the mandate till we finish the pond up here. We still haven't finished it. I mean, we have a lot of people putting in for tax, everything. We have a long list of them, don't we? But the moratorium still hasn't been lifted.
Well, actually, like, when I look back at previous meetings, a lot of times they would lift the moratorium, approve the tap, and
They
then
did that here?
put the moratorium back on. So that's historically been the case. I mean, I've lived in this town for, well, 51 years, and that's how it's happening. And I mean, of course, I have, you know, I am always promoting Aguilar and trying to bring new people in, bring businesses, and Corcoran is here because, I'm always trying to bring new business and revenue for our community. So I understand what you're saying, but historically, yes, I understand that's been in effect, but that hasn't been the protocol that's been followed. And when I did call the state, they said, it's new tax, not anything that's existing or has been, in the books or has, and I own this since 2014, actually.
Once I finish that pond, get everything fixed, then we're open. Then we could do things,
Exactly.
But until then, the state was the one that put it on there, not us.
Right, no, for new taps, not existing.
For all taps, because even, we were on the board when they even stopped, the council used to get free water. They even stopped that.
But from what I understand.
Housing got free water. They stopped that because of the moratorium.
But
That
from what
was in 2010, wasn't it, Bob? Around
What
that
I
area.
understand,
But
we were allowing sewer taps. We were.
well, we weren't supposed
This is a
to.
water tap.
This is water and sewer.
Oh,
Okay, I'm
so-
talking about,
When
yes.
we
Sewer.
had a meeting, Gerald, was it in August when we met with all of them? That they told us our water usage was really high, that we had used in excess. As a matter of fact, I contacted the school because we had had several complaints how they were watering the grass, even if we weren't, but they were watering the grass, it's running down the street, and I asked them, if they could cut back on it because we were told that we had exceeded our usage. And that was one of the things that was holding them on water taps also, is because of the usage was way too high. But the other question here is, so you did this exchange with Tyra, okay, the past administrator. There are 3 residential taps, which would be $9,000. So what you exchanged, where is it located?
So in the very corner of my property, it's a 2-inch main. I believe Bolzani had a concrete plant out there back in the day, is that right? So there was a concrete plant. So in the corner, it would be like the southeast corner of my property, almost to Lynn Road there, the old, highway going to the trucks up. There's a big 2-inch main tap that's there. So when I was going to do the mobile home park, that was going to be adequate water, 200 gallons a minute for the mobile home park, but I changed plans when COVID and everything came in and just kind of put it on hold, for obvious reasons. And then now I, decided not to do the mobile home park and try to do, or obviously I'm doing a new build because that's going to be a higher tax revenue for the town that, if I'm building new houses rather than allowing people to have single wide mobile homes or whatever over there, it's just going to be better for the town and their tax base and revenue, and bringing in, people who will, spend money in this town and contribute to the economy. And that's what I'm trying to do, is grow the town and,
That's understood. My other question is, or maybe my other statement is that, and I think this is something that we should get looked at legally, is, I don't know, we looked through the minutes, we looked through everything, and at no point did we see where the board had authorized this. So whether they were authorized to make the exchange, we don't know. That's been one of the bigger hangups on this.
yeah, I went,
But, I mean,
I went to Tyra, so I just thought, I asked because I wasn't using that and I wanted, so.
I don't have a problem because it's good for the community, but like I said, we were told, about the usage, and that's been what, the holdup has been on these water taps. But I know that you said you've had them before, and I had already heard that. I don't know what the town would do with the one that you exchanged, but like I said, I have to get.
I think it's just a usage exchange, because like a 2-inch main is like technically, you can do like 200 gallons a minute on a 2-inch main, but like a 3/4 inch residential tap is more like 50. So it's actually, I'll be using like a quarter of the water that I actually, could be using, which would actually help minimize, the town's usage. Because if I went and turned on that 2-inch main, I could just be running water for days and then our usage would go. But, I'm for Aguilar and I just want to do the right thing. That's obviously why I'm here. So.
But like I said, the question is, and we've looked through the minutes and we just have not seen anywhere where the board had approved the exchange. And that's the question here.
I think,
I'm sure they could probably do, decide now but that's, where we're at with that.
I think what we have been doing is granting of water and sewer line taps, right? But it's on a waiting list. So we could still grant her the water and sewer taps for this house.
Well, she's claiming she has the water taps.
I know, but she would then have to be put on the waiting list like everybody else is. We got a long list of people waiting to get a water and sewer tap put in. She's just gonna.
Well, that would be like help facilitate. I mean, my revenue stream could actually help to hire the guy to come here and, we'll make a swoop of it and we'll get Daryl Hall's tap in that's been approved and we'll do mine and I don't know who else is on the sewer tap list or whatever, but, I'd be willing to contribute to the construction and the, helping with the infrastructure, obviously, probably above and beyond the per footage, fee that the normal, you normally are charged or the residents are charged to help bring in, a contractor or whatever we need to do to help, because I'm just trying to help
Well, the
Aguilar.
board has gone ahead and they hired Derek and Derek's, capable of installing these water lines and the sewer lines. But the question, like I said, is the legality of the letter. We couldn't find anywhere where the board had approved it.
Okay.
But if you give me time, I will contact the attorney and see, where the board stands with this. And then I will let you know.
And as for the sewer tab, can we get an, approval and on the waiting list or whatever for that? I mean, if I have to put in a cistern, until whenever, that's gonna stink because that's gonna take up one of my 13 lots to install a cistern and have water hauled. But I have a lot of people who are trying to relocate and, and contribute to this town. So I don't want a $350,000 house sitting there with a toilet you can't flush, because I checked last year about this time before I even started this process. And they're like, yeah, within a year we'll have it, cleared up, which I understand. There are things and challenges that you guys are, facing and doing a great job at getting over those hurdles. Like I said, I have talked to the commissioners and even the state water commissioners, are singing your praises. They said, now they're actually sitting down with us and they're talking and they're trying to meet these benchmarks. So that's all good news for Aguilar, and the state is, saying good things, which makes me happy as a lifetime resident here.
I think we ought to wait till the augmentation pond is finished, then we could go forward on the taps and that. But as far as bringing other people to do the taps, we have Mr. Marcus and them that are to do the taps for this town. We don't want everybody getting into them taps.
We didn't, that's not what I was saying. I was saying I would bear some of the expense for Derek or whatever the town. I would bear some of that expense for the contractor, above and beyond the normal per foot charge to help the town, meet. I would just meet the town more than halfway is, I guess, when
I'm just asking, let me check on the water and then the board can decide what they're gonna do about the sewer.
Okay.
That's, they can do that tonight.
Yes.
and they can vote on it. And like I said, let me just talk to Adam and Andy and see what they say on the legality of the transfer.
Okay.
And then, do you have, because this says property 29120, if you'll give me like a physical address for
It's
it?
First Street now, it's 29120, I actually got it annexed into the town of Aguilar, so my tax base is higher when I was going to do the mobile home park, because I wanted, and all that annexation paperwork is in, because remember I came to the board and annexed that all in, so that we have a higher tax base, you know, and that would be in the town of Aguilar, so that they would get more money, so all of that is in there, and that property has been annexed into the town of Aguilar years ago, like probably before 19, whatever.
Okay.
So, and then the sewer tap, you will decide on that?
We can do that right now.
Yeah, they can do that now.
Okay, so they can approve the sewer tap, and then you'll let me know on the water.
I
tap?
will.
I mentioned that we open up or release the moratorium on sewer taps.
Second,
Well, the sewer taps and the water taps. How many people do we have already on the list to do this?
We need to ask,
That, you know,
we need to ask the office.
they shouldn't have been
And the oldest
doing
one
it in the
is
first
for
place,
living
but
down.
Moratorium, for water, for the sewer tap.
I don't think there is a moratorium. Is there a
I don't
moratorium
know
on
if
sewer
they have it
taps?
right here,
There's not a moratorium on sewer taps, just water taps, I believe, right?
but they had it here, that's where I was showing. Okay,
And whatever I can do to help the town, I mean, I know I don't live in town, but I own 1 million properties in town, I own a commercial business, and so whatever I can do, if I can be of help in any of these benchmarks or anything, I'm happy to help however I can.
yeah, that's what I just said too, and they said, no, not just the water, that's where you left the moratorium, but not,
Not the sewer.
I saw what you saw too. Okay,
Anything else?
I make a motion to have the sewer line put
as
in,
far as I'm concerned.
to be put on the list of people that are already there, and then we'll get to it whenever we can.
Mr. Romero made a motion. Seconded by Monica.
Yes.
Roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne,
Yes.
Carrie,
Mr.
how far are you
Trio.
with your hands?
Yes.
Almost done. I just drywall. Yeah, we already sheet rocked and electric's in, plumbing is in, Twin Peaks did plumbing, JAR did electric. We're drywall insulated, so basically we're to,
You can use natural gas or what?
if I, that was just another question. I didn't know where everybody was with the installation of these things. Of course, I would like to, because that's just revenue for the town, so I'll
Wassenberg does
probably,
that right.
yeah, so I just need to, you know, I guess I'll need to have a gas tap. I just didn't know if we had anybody, you know.
Wassenberg has been doing our gas
Okay. then I'll-
till we get, Mr. Rich O'Q.
Okay, yeah, so, and I will, it's very likely, so.
See, Terry, on the back on the sewer, where you're gonna tap into,
Mhm.
Mr. Romero installed that whole sewer line.
No,
No,
He could-
I did my own personal one because
Yeah.
Scott Canada did it from there down, right?
But
And then
then
you did
that
yours.
house right across the street from me,
Uh-huh.
from there down,
Scott Canada, yeah, we put that in. Actually, my ex-husband put that whole line in for Scott Canada back in the day, and then it's been sold about 3 times since then.
that's
So,
a big one.
yeah, it's a big line. We did all the excavation for that 20 years ago. So, yeah, pretty. Right, and then thank you very much. And then any timeline on that sewer installation
Well,
thing? Do you guys know
the thing
anything,
is,
or how
we
many
don't
people
know
are on the
how
list?
many people are waiting to have sewer put in, because I know
We have
For sure.
roughly,
And that was approved with Mr. Hooper. And well, actually, I think Kim and Robbie maybe got that approved.
we have
or
roughly
Hooper.
7 water taps that have been approved that haven't been put in, and I think 4 or 5 sewers. I'd have to check the list.
We need to start working on putting in sewer lines because his dad's been waiting quite some time to get one in, right?
And we clearly, flush the toilet with some hot water if we have to, and like I said, if I have to put in a cistern, I will, but I don't have to do that, because that's just ridiculous when you live
You
in a
can run the hose from my
municipality.
house.
Huh?
You can run the hose from my.
Thank you, that's perfect. I'll pay you.
I'm only kidding.
Anything else for me, guys?
I got a question to ask.
Yes, sir.
We,
Back on June 25th, 2019,
Mhm.
they have Rob and Terry Campbell requesting sewer tap. Was that ever installed?
No, that was going to be that trailer park. I had everything rezoned, but no, it was not installed.
No.
that was in 2019.
Yeah, that was not installed, and
Okay. I was wondering if it was installed and we
No.
gave it 3 for the one.
no, that was never installed. We got approved to do everything for
Boy's house.
the trailer park, like I said, and then COVID hit, and I just didn't do that, and then I thought it would be a better tax base and revenue source for the town if I built new builds rather than have a bunch of crappy single wides out there on the north side of town. That would be too amazing when you're just rolling in.
Okay, ma'am,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Manuel, you know? Yeah.
Hello, everyone, Mayor,
Hello.
council members. I'd like to talk to you about infrastructure problem that was messed up by the city of Aguilar about a decade ago already. When my dad had this in, I talked to Jim Neely and John Beal that put the infrastructure in my yard right there in the alley. When he put that in, he put it in right. My sister used it for 6 years. I used it for a couple of years. And all of a sudden, the city went in there and dug behind Kenny Quintero's house and did something. What they had done, I didn't find out till 4.5 years later, after not having no infrastructure at all. What they had done is they had taken an 8-inch pipe from my line all the way down the alley. They had taken an 8-inch pipe and grinded a hole out of it to place my pipe in it. And I assume that was probably the reason why it didn't run for that long. And then at the end of bitching and complaining to Tyra, Virgil went and rectified, he fixed his problem. I've had cameramen in there, I've rotor rooted it for years, and it's a problem that was so bad I had to go get a lawyer. $1,850 later, for a lawyer just to write a letter, I get an answer from the city of Aguilar stating that we're gonna appease to whatever we did wrong in the alley and fix it. But I was like, I told the lawyer, no, I need the money that I spent all those years for all that stuff. And so I went a couple of years ago, I was here, Mark and Tyra, they said the lawyers are still involved, wait till they go away and then we're gonna try to rectify it. I never heard nothing from nobody. And now, Quintero's property is right behind this problem that ever happened. Here's the line for the infrastructure for the city. Kenny Quintero's property might be going into my pipe, which you're calling my pipe all the way to the city. I don't know how they would tie that in. I didn't see after they had done it. So all this time, nothing has ever been done. Nothing has ever been done. So now, check this out. They didn't use the right pipe. It's not Schedule 30, and they didn't tamp it in right. They've got 10 or so feet of dirt. They didn't tamp it in right. Now that pipe's got a divot in it. If you go look in the alley, there's a divot in the whole part of it right there. So now I've had to already rotor root it twice. Pretty solace and quiet right now, I guess.
Is it working right now?
Yeah, it's working. and it's worked for about 3 or so years. Because they went and they fixed it, but the thing is, if they're gonna grind a hole right here, and they try to put it down here, what do they do, grind another hole down here? When we looked at it, the pipe coming up from two clean out valves are sticking right here. Well, they only put the clean out valves because they know there was gonna be a challenge. They know there was gonna be a challenge. So if they messed the first thing up and grinded a hole in it and had my pipe laying there, and it was going uphill, there was an uphill rise, that was the problem all them years. That was the problem. So in the end, I need the city council and everybody here to rectify what's gone on in the past. It's been way, way too long. I don't think anybody actually here knows about it, except for this young lady. She started about the time the problems happened. About 10 or something, 9, 10 years ago, whatever.
Has the board,
And I do believe Mr. Romero has heard the problem the last
did
time
any
out
of you
there.
read the paperwork? I read the paperwork that they had on file for you. It states that you did have an attorney that you had, and at the time, Mr. Hyatt was the town's attorney.
Yeah.
And the end result was Mr. Munoz's duties and responsibilities. Mr. Munoz will be responsible for the cost of design, materials, and labor necessary to construct a 4-inch diameter sewer service line from the point of service at 201 Pinion Street to the town's new 8-inch sewer main extension, so sewage flows properly from the point of service to a correctly installed sewer main extension tap.
I think where that directs to is when my father did it. See, my father put that line in there and it was fine for 6 years. My sister lived in it. We had other people renting it. It was fine. The city of Aguilar had a hole grinded right here. That's when I went and got a lawyer.
It says on here,
And
you
then-
did, you had an
Yeah, and whatever
attorney,
paperwork that I had
and
provided
they've
last
gone
time.
back and forth. Mark was mayor,
Yeah,
Tyra was on, Daniel Hyatt, and it's gone back and forth, and like I
Right.
said,
it's time for redemption.
according to this, it was, your, as the owner, the responsibility was on
It was already there.
yours.
Mayor. My dad had already fixed it. It was 100% until the city of Aguilar got in there and did it. I don't know why they even got in there. I don't know what the hell they were doing in there. If the city of Aguilar is claiming that that's all my line all the way down until it hits the city infrastructure, why did they get in my line? Why did they do that?
The last page of what was given to me in the packet, item 4 says the town will waive the requirement that the property owner be responsible for the cost of constructing the sewer main extension, and the town will absorb the entire cost of the materials and labor to construct the sewer main.
Which one are you looking at?
So, and when the lawyers got back with me,
It's from Daniel.
Okay, but when you go to Mr. Munoz's duties and responsibilities under that, it also says that he's responsible.
but that responsibility was already met through my father. He did that in 1997. That was already done. He was 100% done right. So the city of Aguilar got in there and jacked it up.
Wasn't this between you and the town?
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking, because I wasn't, I mean,
Oh,
I
it
was
was
in
definitely
Aguilar,
between
but
me
I
and Tyra. It
wasn't.
was definitely between me and Tyra, because every time I called, she would just blow it off and just, this was her thing. I'm not gonna fix it because they got word that the thing wasn't done right in the first place. I got Jim Healy and John Behill over there, the guys who did it in 1997. And they explained to me it was done right. Not only did I do that, but I got a camera shooting all the way from this side to where their clean out valves are. One goes this way and one goes towards my house. I got a cameraman shooting all the way up it. It was fine. The only problem with existing is where the city of Aguilar jumped in it and did whatever they did.
Is this on your property or is it in Gallup?
It's an alley. It's an alley, it's an alley, and then when you guys told me I'm responsible for the alley, I was like, wait a minute, hang on. So what needs to be done is need to take that 8-inch structure, pull it all the way up to my house, and then hook me in where I'm living in that little trailer.
They don't go to your property. They only go.
Oh, they
to-
did for my partner Leo, he just got a
The
face put
line.
in, and they dug a line all the way to his thing, and a sewer. He just put that little tiny house in behind that, next to,
Did the town do that?
yeah, they did it.
They should have went to the property line. I can't say for
They
sure.
went
if
to-
they would
I
they went
have,
to the
don't know.
street.
I'm
yeah.
just saying, I
Well,
mean,
because we couldn't find it, I had a mini truck over there trying to find it.
I mean, Derek's here, he probably would have done it. Did you guys
Yeah.
just go to the property line on Church? Yeah, just to the
Right.
property line.
Because there was no existing sewer tap, so we put it from the street to the.
Oh, there was an existing sewer tap at one time, they just couldn't find it. There was a house there.
They snuck it in there somehow.
All I'm saying is that stuff was done wrong a long time ago. I tried to sue the city, but I stopped. I said, well, maybe if I go and, say what's happened, it'll be rectified, and stuff will be fixed. Nothing was ever fixed.
And I was under the
And now there's still a
impression,
challenge over here.
when it was first installed by your father, whoever, that you were told, or he was told that there had to be a lift station for
It
the
didn't need no
sewage.
lift station
which
because
is
the
why the
cameraman
board
said it
has
didn't need a lift
denied it
station.
twice,
3 gallons of
but-
water passes by just fine. There was a determination on the height of the land on if they needed a lift station, but it didn't never, because it ran for 6 years. Perfectly fine.
well, Mr. Munoz, if you'll give me some time, I
I
will
will, thank you.
look into this and see who's responsible or what's
Yeah.
gonna transpire with
Yeah,
this, okay?
I had a bunch of people who had witnesses. I gave you guys stuff, witnesses and stuff. I was giving to the lawyers stuff. I don't know if you guys have that stuff still.
The only thing I
You
have
might
right
not.
here are
You might not have
between
it.
attorneys, and so
Yeah, so.
I will look into this for you
And when can I receive a response?
And bring
Because
it
every time
back.
I came to the city.
and
they'll
bring
say
it back.
something.
I will bring it back to the board so then they will know where we're at with this, okay?
So within 30 days, I can hear a response?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
Doug, your house is not using that sewer line, the camper.
No, my camper does
I
not.
thought you said you were living in it.
I live in it, but I still utilize the trailer that's still got sewer in it. My water and sewer is right here. So that old trailer, I still walk over there, the shower and the toilet is still working.
Okay, sir, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Debbie?
I'm here in the 10th year, we were asking permission to have Aguilar Day. This year it'd be on August 2nd, which is always the first Saturday in August. What we're asking is the same that we've asked for 2 years. Do you have any questions for me?
What were you referring to as the Friends of Aguilar who secured the event in the permit?
Okay, that would be the board of Friends of Aguilar, the president, and Karen Arrowood is the vice president for that. So we have a committee of, I don't know, off and on 20. We are having a meeting this Saturday, if you're more than welcome to come.
What type of insurance do you have when you have these festivals?
It's called the umbrella clause, or the umbrella. So it does come under yours, but it's a rider where we pay I think it's $400 to $600 for the date of liability. We have the liability insurance. Then past we've got through Trinidad.
How do you get there?
Every year, the town puts in half
2 years ago, yes. But with your financial problems, we went ahead and stepped up and took care of that last year. We had it in this year. As well, unless you want to get, you know, have a security. I mean, I'd be more than happy to take it, but no, we are trying to secure everything ourselves. But yes, we had 2 years ago, we did go in-house with this, because what had happened is you lost the marshal, the town marshal. And so that year you said, okay, you know, we'll split the cost. And then your financial issues came up, so we went ahead and took the full credit.
In prior years, when we did Aguilar Fest, Aguilar Days, we provided our own security. The town did, the only thing the town did for us was block off the streets and,
That's what we're
but
asking.
everything else that we did that.
It was that, just the 1 year we had asked for that, the split, because we weren't anticipating that we would lose the marshal. And I think we did pay for, our half of it, but the marshal was the other half. And so it just came up that there was a hole there. But we're not asking for that.
So are you just asking for approval to have the festival on that day?
Yes, and that you would, like, the last call where you would help barricade the streets for us. And take care of the trash.
So can I ask you, like, have you looked into maybe the school? Some of the kids, I know, Mrs. Rodriguez had said that the kids, they do community service.
Yes, we've asked for help. I don't think we've had a lot of response on that.
I'm just
I mean,
saying,
yeah,
because
I
I
know,
know
we
that they
haven't had-
have to have so much of it
Right,
to
and we've always
graduate.
encouraged them to help us with all of our events.
Because right now, we only have the one person and
So you would like us to ask the school then for trash help with the trash removal?
no,
No.
you do it. So the town's responsibility to remove it?
Yes.
Okay. And it's a go for August the 2nd.
Motion to permit Aguilar Days to have their Aguilar Days.
Okay.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Rojas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne,
Yes.
Mr. Trio.
Yes.
We have one more item, right?
Pardon?
Aguilar Festival request special license.
Oh, we do that, we're gonna do that. Last year, it was held up in the office, in this, I mean,
The liquor license.
for the liquor license until it was closer. So what we'll do is we're gonna come back for the liquor license because I don't know, there's no sense in holding it up
A
here.
special
I mean, yes, the special licenses. They are talking about adding wine to it. So I've got to check out how much that's gonna cost for our insurance and the liquor license and everything. But that's on us. I mean, we will take care of that if, and then we'll decide if we're gonna add the. But that would be it. I mean, I don't know what all that entails, to be honest with you. I have to look. But I will let you know when I come back.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Well, thank you very much and hope to see you all there.
His new name is Levi Darrell Hall.
Yeah, I'm here on behalf of my father. So, just wondering what's going on with sewer tap. It's been quite a while. We asked last time.
I guess to be put on this because I had come up with something that, right next to his property where the Marshalls and his property comes together is a cleanup. And would he be able to use that until this could be settled? He's paying $200 a month to remove waste.
That's at a minimum.
At a
It's
minimum.
costing us 100 to 125 every time Twin Enviro comes out just to suck the tank out.
Could
Who's
we
to
get
say
a-
my father doesn't use the toilet more in 2 weeks than he did the last 2 weeks? So he's got to get it sucked out quite frequently. And
Could we
it's
give him
becoming.
permission to-
Hey, Ray, can I ask you, what are your dad's plans to do with,
He wants to get the tap over there so we can pour a concrete pad. We can't pour that pad unless the plumbing is ran through that pad because he wants to build a small house on a concrete pad.
but his
How-
intentions are
To build and live
to
here.
build a house?
I mean, he sold his house in Galveston to live in Aguilar. I mean, that was his intentions, to come here and live here, watch his grandchild grow up, and be part of my life as well, as be part of the city. I mean,
To make it easier on him, though, could we agree to let him run his sewer line into that clean out valve until this tap could be put in?
Now, is this tap
I don't think so.
for that trailer house, the trailer camper,
Yes,
or is it gonna be for an existing building?
it's gonna be for a house, a future building. He's in the camper right now.
Okay, do we have
The one camper actually has a housing stamp on it, the fifth wheel. It's a 40-foot, it has a housing stamp on it, just like the man camps at the other end of town. Has a Colorado housing stamp on it.
we don't have a code for that, do we?
so would it be
Campers?
like within a year?
Oh, as soon as we get a tap, we're gonna start building. That's the only thing we're waiting on. My father actually had a pre-ordered, prefabricated house, and they delivered it to Walsenburg because he couldn't set it there without the pad being set. And now my dad's out $3,500 on pre-ordering a small house that got delivered to Walsenburg because he couldn't set it there without utilities.
So I think kind of what the situation is that the tap was approved at that property under a different owner. The tap was never installed or paid for. Mr. Hall came in and notified me and Sarah that they had bought the tap or the property and they wanted the tap installed. At that time, we transferred it to your father's name. We didn't get any application, anything from him. We did clear it with the mayor at that time, but I think the main issue is that nobody's really sure what your dad was gonna do there if he's building. So the
I mean,
actual
what do you mean
application.
he's not sure? He's been to how many meetings and told you he wants to build a house
Well, and I
over there?
know-
No, I didn't
there's-
realize that that's how, you know,
There's several campers from what I've got
I
in
didn't
there, so
realize
we weren't
that-
sure, but the application is actually under a different gentleman, so I think that we need to get an
Well, then
application.
why did you accept? If you don't have an application from my father, why would you take the money under somebody else's name?
Well,
from my
the old
father?
mayor told them, go ahead. So
Yeah.
I asked, what the intentions were, okay? Because I have seen on the other apps and stuff. And so that's why I'm asking you those questions as to what your dad's intentions
Yeah,
are.
his
But you
intentions are to
told
live
us
in the one.
that he's planning on, you know, putting a building there or building whichever, then,
Yes, it's gonna be most likely a prefabricated house.
okay,
And they'll deliver it in 2 sections, but we have to have
the
somewhere
foundation.
a foundation to put it, even if it's just 2 footers that the building sits on. We still have to have that done. And we have to have all the plumbing ran before we can set it in its final location.
You need to furnish the town a copy of your plans.
Okay,
And then I think once they do that, if the board,
my father has them.
if the board, you know, approves and we're good to go and
And the only other stipulation normally would be that you have to come get a permit to live in the camper, and I believe it's for, is it 6 months or a year? While the building was going on. And I know right now that the permit is free as far as,
Yeah, that's
It
not a
goes now.
problem. We can.
and then we can also just
then
give you a new
after
application to
that's
fill.
done and you just give them the plans and that. And then we can talk to Mr. Marcus and then set up a date.
So you're requesting that he has plans before you get the sewer tap?
You have to let him know what they're doing. That was the intentions of the gentleman that owned the property. Is he had already told them, he had asked the town apparently when he applied for that sewer tap, had asked them for, a year
Well, he,
roughly.
he
that
filled
was
out the
gonna
app
build.
with the, intention to build a house, and he never did anything, and this was, I think your dad came in about 10 months into the
So the
year being
previous
up.
owner has nothing to do with my
But the
father.
problem is the application and everything, the tap was given to the previous owner, and we never got new paperwork,
The
so.
city transferred it over though, right? So how do you not
Under
have
the old
any
mayor,
paperwork?
but the thing is that I'm the one that transferred it. I crossed out his name and put your dad's name. The board didn't approve it, the old mayor did. And now with the new board, they're requiring everything's done above board legit, the way it's supposed to have been done in the past, which it wasn't. So basically, I think he just needs to bring in his building plans. I can give you a new app before you leave. Fill it out, bring it in, and as long as the board is good with the plans, I mean, I don't see an issue. It's already paid for. It's just, I believe he's the first one for a sewer on our list.
Yeah,
as
it's
long
been
as it
almost 9 months now.
Well, I know before they didn't have the money, the last 6 months or
And
so.
it's, I mean, I could dig this thing by hand, Arlinda. If you went to my father's property, it's exposed in the yard next door. It actually has wooden pallets over the hole. It's sticking 3 feet out of the ground with a 6-foot hole. Literally got to run the pipe 15 feet.
That's not what that one is for. It's,
What will
Derek,
what
would
will
you like to chime in on this?
So that tap right there that was put in, Tyler requested it for the marshal that was originally going to live in that house. Colin, there you go. So what we'll end up doing for Mr. Hall is just go directly behind his property, talk to you, be like, okay, where do you want this tap? From your property line to your property line?
Yeah.
I'll dig the hole, we'll set the tap, dig it to the property line, and let them take it from there.
I mean, how far, literally?
Oh, 6 feet maybe.
okay,
Maybe
so
about
that's
5
what
foot
we'll
down
do.
and 6 foot hole, it's not very far.
I mean, I can dig it by
So we're
hand
good?
in a few days.
Now, I have a question. Everything seems okay, but how many people put in for taps before they did? I mean, we have to.
You just said I was first on the list.
I have to kind of,
Been on the waiting list for over 9 months.
yeah, well, I don't know how many were ahead of you. Maybe there weren't any. Maybe you're the first one.
Yeah.
You know,
That'd be nice.
we have to kind of.
The situation though, what's going on with him is we're 8 months down the road, his father's having to pay over $200 a month to keep having this pumped out. He's paid for the thing, it's been 8 months, all we have to do is give him permission to run the line over to the, clean out.
It's not
just
the
to-
way they're doing it. Derek has it under control, so as
But
soon
that would
as the
give him
board is
immediate
good
relief. The board's not
and you get
doing
that
anything.
paperwork in,
I haven't had
We'll set it up.
for 2 years
This
ago.
is hard to really, see if everyone keeps over talking me on this. The man's been very pleasant on this. He's been patient. And to get him to where, unless we start paying for his sewer to be pumped out, just let him run the line to the clean out.
they're gonna, as soon as he brings the paperwork, Vernon, Derek's gonna take care of it, okay?
How soon though? That's the same question.
I'll
Well,
get
if
building
he brings the
plans as soon
paperwork
as
tomorrow,
possible.
then if the board says okay, then we're good.
Okay, can we vote on it now?
Please. I think we need to get his plans and his application, and the problem with running a sewer hose into another tap is we've had several people in Aguilar this year wanting to do that, and they've been told they can't do that.
That has to be done correctly.
I'm not worried about using the neighbor's clean out. I'll have plans, and as soon as I have plans, I just ask that it's granted that we go ahead and perform the service.
That's what I'm
already paid
saying,
for.
as long as the board says you bring in the plans and that,
Would do I
we're
have to
good to
wait till
go.
the next meeting for the
No,
board to
no.
approve that?
No.
No,
I'll
We
make a
have to
motion
wait on
that-
Derek.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that as soon as we bring this paper,
That was on him.
that we schedule it to be done.
I second it.
Yeah, he said he'll get us the paperwork, and
I
as
will
soon as
get you
that's
that
done,
paperwork as soon as
then
possible.
it's gonna be up to whenever Derek's gonna be
We'll
available.
vote on the motion now.
So I make a motion, once the paperwork
already
is
did.
submitted,
You
I'll second.
Already, second.
I already seconded.
You can,
You're a good bit behind there, sir.
Where are you at?
Right.
What can I say?
Ms. Rodriguez.
Wait, we need to roll.
Oh, wait, roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yep.
Mr. Rojas?
Yes.
Ms. Gilman?
Yeah.
Mr. Romero?
Yes.
Mr. Thorne?
Yes.
Mr. Trio?
Three times
Okay, Ms. Rodriguez.
Hello, everyone. I exchanged long seeing glasses for reading glasses, and I'm mad about it. So, to my age. Okay. It has been asked by both trustee Romero and trustee Thorne, but I've never seen or heard an answer. So I, as a citizen, will ask it and hopefully get an honest answer. Ken Torres is working with our mayor, alongside our mayor with CDOT. He's working as a building inspector, he's mercantile, and he's also worked as code enforcement. So my question is, did this council renegotiate Mr. Torres' contract to include all of those things, along with his work on the augmentation pond? And if so, where is it? Where is the renegotiated contract? Have the trustees gotten a copy and voted on it? If not, why is he doing all of these things?
The board voted to negotiate his contract. They all voted. Mr. Romero made a motion. No, Ms. Downer did. Mr. Romero seconded. The board all voted, and the only one was Mr. Thorne that said no. And this was done on October
They
30th.
did this to
2024.
see a renegotiated contract from the lawyer.
The
That's what they
only thing
voted on.
that they asked was that the attorney changed the verbiage that he would answer to the mayor. Because Mr. Romero asked the question, who does he answer
He's saying
to?
no.
He may say no, but he also told me that they didn't hire Derek Marcus, and they hired Derek Marcus. So,
Have
you
you
know,
guys
that's
seen,
just where we're at.
have you guys seen a,
You know what, and I have to agree with that. I didn't vote no on renegotiating this contract.
Yes, you did, sir.
Everyone, I did not.
Yes, you did. When we came out of
I'm not gonna
executive
say
session.
that-
I have issues, okay? Today, do you know what happened? I
Wait.
have issues also.
I'm talking and we're in session. This doesn't
It
include
has
you.
to do with
No.
Ken Torres.
Hold on,
Okay, now,
Donna.
we didn't make that vote. What we voted on was that we would renegotiate his contract. It came up later, and what was said then was that he would still take care of things with the augmentation part until we reviewed the new contract. That's what was said.
have any of you seen the new contract?
And grant writing, he was supposed to answer.
There was grant writing, whatever else there was to do. The only thing that was changed on, was gonna change on the contract was, who he reported to.
Bob, have you
And
seen the
it said
contract?
on the contract, they still have the old
Bruce,
contract
have you
and
seen
it
the
says.
contract?
Bruce is
Bruce,
here.
have you seen the contract?
Didn't we send that contract
Yes.
to the lawyers?
Yes, and you were supposed to
see
get it
what they
back to
could
you.
come up with?
Well, I'll tell you what, I sent a thing today to the attorney, and so
So
we
no
will,
one's seen a contract.
well, they will,
But,
So this has to wait till next meeting?
yes.
well, yeah, but you're saying something that's really completely wrong. What we voted on was for his contract to be suspended, other than the duties of the office.
There was never a
They would have
suspension.
to be suspended.
I'm getting tired of being interrupted. I'm trying not to argue with you. I'm trying to make a point, which I have the right
But
to do.
there was no
So quit yelling at me.
suspension, Vernon.
What you're
Well,
saying,
when I talk to you, you always tell me I can't hear. So what are we gonna do? We can hear, or do I not Call her.
What is this going into this type of thing?
Why wasn't Ken at my house today at 8 o'clock this morning to go pick up those
You're not
dogs?
on the agenda.
I
Thank
don't
you.
care anymore. We had a plan and I thought you were on for the puppies, those dogs. We had a plan today to get rid of them and it didn't happen.
You need to
Christina.
settle down.
She
The
will
officer will
remove
have
you.
you
We're
for a
not gonna
while.
do this, okay?
You're not
This
gonna interrupt the
isn't the
meeting.
conversation.
Don't do that.
But,
I want you to do your job.
and, I asked.
You want her to do her job?
No, I want her to do her
I'm
job.
talking about her. She'll take you out of here.
I'll just leave.
When did we have the meeting that we talked about Ken's contract?
October the 30th. You can look it up. It's on
I'm-
there.
I'm
There's
going-
the
I'm
video
going to.
where you guys made the
I'm going to-
motion.
I'm going to.
I was asked 3 times and was never given an answer. That's why I'm here tonight.
I said I will get an answer for you, and then you can all see his contract.
I want to go on record. I do not trust anyone who will lie at a public meeting. My very first meeting at the community center, Mr. Torres was asked a question and said, hey, I volunteer here. You want me to leave? I'll leave. And then come to find out, he doesn't volunteer at all. He gets paid. That's why I'm questioning his motives, his actions, all of your actions.
Thank you. Rich?
I would like to make a remark about this tension between me and you. You know what?
We're going on to the utility report. Thank you, Mr. Thorne. We're gonna
Exactly
stick to
what
the
I'm-
agenda tonight.
Exactly the point that I'm making.
Rich, go ahead.
Hope everybody has seen my report this month. Everything's going well. Me and Derek had fixed the sewer line over at 311 East Main. Everything went well. I do have the report, or not the report, but for the gas, it is in the packet. So go ahead and get me qualified for the OQ. We're supposed to find out about what exactly we need to get that in motion and keep that going. And also, I have quotes here because we need road base. I'm completely out of road base, and the roads are getting bad, and we need to get these.
Wait, we have to wait till we get to that.
Well, I have in my report, so. I'll bring it
Okay.
up now. Sorry.
And then we'll just cross it out.
And the gas too. Oh, yeah, if you want.
Okay. Okay, no, we can't.
But yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions about my report this month. I did get the tire back for the black Tahoe. I got that back today. It will be back on the vehicle tomorrow.
And he did get the, what is it called?
Falcon.
Oh,
Snowplow.
blade.
Welded,
The
Yes, and the
snowplow.
blade got fixed on the plow.
the plow fix.
Did you have that welded again?
Yes, and they totally rebuilt it. They had to
Have you
rebuild it.
tried putting that other one on?
No, I did not.
Because that one there, it ain't gonna last.
I'm gonna utilize it as long as we can. And then I'll take the stuff off the white truck and have it sitting, because I'm not sure what we're doing with the white truck yet.
I think we should use that other plow and get rid of that one because it broke already. And once that steel breaks, they could weld all they want. They could put gussets, they could do whatever they want, but it's weak.
But the thing was.
It's not gonna last.
No, Mr. Bravos, you're 100% correct. And the one thing was, when that truck was brought here, it didn't have feet on it. So when I was plowing the roads, it wasn't staying off the ground so much, but now that we got the feet on there, it's only allowing you to go down so far.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be more durable than what it was before.
but I'm in,
But yes, I
I
totally get
want
what
to
you're saying.
get rid of that one and get just a flat one,
Okay,
because that other one we have, you can tilt it. This one here, you have a lot of pressure in that middle part,
correct,
a lot of pressure.
correct.
And that, like I say, once that steel breaks, it's gonna break again.
Correct.
Because it's all weak.
Yes,
I worked at the steel mill with the steel,
right.
and that steel, once it breaks and that, forget about it. So that's my point, is we're gonna have to get rid of it.
The plow.
The plow, that, when we got with that two truck, and that other one is a better one because it's just flat. You know,
The one you just had repaired.
We're talking about the V1 that's on the green truck that was purchased. That one he wants to get rid of and use the one that is on the old white Chevy. The one that leaks oil everywhere, but I think we can take that off. I'm not sure because that's a Ford
we'll
truck
have
and
all-
a Chevy truck, but we'll have to
we'll
see.
have all
Mr.
summer to
Rodino,
get
what
rid
do
of
you
it.
think?
What's that?
Gerald, what do you think on those plows?
Well, we've got some time to look at that. I mean, we're
Yeah, we
gonna
don't
be
have
out
to
of
decide
winter
right
here
now.
pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it right now. Like I
You
said,
can get by with what you got. It's repaired now, is
correct. Yes, sir, it is.
So it'll hold us till next year.
And like I said, the feet weren't on it before. And Gerald, you know all about, and everybody knows about the feet that are on a plow.
Yeah.
That it actually keeps it off the ground a little bit.
Right.
And that's what the problem was, is when I was plowing, I would push it up a little bit, but I can't tell inside the cab unless I get out every time that, yeah, exactly. So now that the feet are on it, it's working properly.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Rich.
Thanks. Okay, you have your project report from Mr. Torres. We met yesterday with SGM and Siete at the augmentation pond. Doing the punch list for getting ready to get started on it. I don't know if you all know, but Siete and SGM have been paid. And there's been a retention fee of $114,000, but once we did the walks yesterday, I believe that Rick Hart from SGM will put in for the release of it, and we will advertise, and then they will get paid. We went up to check the green water tank because we were told that it's fallen apart, but what it is the tank is covered in some type of an insulation, and apparently we thought, I think to us, it looks like bird nesting, you know, like they're just kind of like what a woodpecker does, you know, the holes in it, and that's what this looks like, because we were told they thought maybe people were shooting at it, but that's not what it looked like. I mean, it's deteriorating. But I do believe that that tank is also on the list with the other ones.
Right, for replacement.
But for now, the only thing I think that needs to be done, and this is a request from Sursa, is that a gate be put up. Because there's two metal pieces thrown there on the side, but it's my understanding that the town does have gates that had been purchased. So they might have like 3 or 4 gates. And then I know that last year Sursa did on their report, they asked the town to put gates on, is it going to the wells? And then going to that tank. they do want those as a safety measure that gates are put on the road.
Those big green ones.
We have some gates in the, we have some gates over there.
We got two gates, I'm not trying to interrupt, but we have two gates in the boneyard up there that we can use to secure that.
I think they were bought, they just never were put up,
Right.
yeah. So.
And I think that once you do that, then you can probably put like
Wire mesh.
on it.
Mhm.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Could I bring up a subject? Is Marty totally trained on what you do around here?
On the weekends.
I know, because I see you and him riding around together all the time, and should there be, if he knows everything is going on in town, he should be driving on his own.
No.
Mr. Romero,
But
first of all, when Marty comes and he rides with him, they're doing meter reads.
Yeah, we were doing meter reads.
That's what they do when they're together. It isn't that they're just hanging out.
well, I
Because-
wanted to make sure, because I know other people are gonna be asking.
I'm just clarifying, that when Marty comes at the end of the month, he works with him to do the meter reads because, there's too many, and the way they're done, it takes two people to get them done for now.
I can just say, when I was doing it by myself, it was taking 5 days to do all the meter reads. But with Marty helping me, we got them done in 2.
Good.
So we cut the time in half by having him here to help out with that.
And Marty has been really good at helping with the meter reads. We're using him at the end of every month to search with that, the chores every other weekend, and then all the water stuff, the sampling. So between the 3 of us, we're.
Because he's here for 20 hours a week, right?
Well, he did a few extra because he's helping him with the meter reads.
And I don't think it's ever been 20, it's just he comes every other weekend for chores, so that's
4 hours.
4 hours, so 8 hours a month there. And then for meter reads this month, I think he was here 2 8-hour days. So
Yeah,
he's
it's-
not working 20 hours every week, it's just as we need him. And then anything he does for water, coming to do water testing, attending the water meetings, that he doesn't get paid for hourly because that's part of his license that you pay him for.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
And so that was it for the project report. Office report. Well, you can tell them we got that $25,000 grant. We did. We got the $25,000 grant that we applied for in December. And so that's pretty much gone because I will repair Mauricio Canyon well. That'll be taken care of. How many meters?
So we got 25,000 and we have to use it by the end of the year. So we had requested the Mauricio well to be paid. I believe I got 10 water meters just to replace broken meters that can't be read. I also got 3 water meters and everything to install water taps. So we will be able to have like the parts and everything for 3 water taps, the meter, everything needed. 2 chlorine machines, 1 for the Mauricio well, and then a replacement because they tend to go out at least once a year. And I believe that was the 25,000 total. So we just have till the end of the year to use it, and we pay for the stuff up front, but then we send it to CDPHE is who issued the grant. We pay for it up front, send them the receipts and everything, and then they'll reimburse the town.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I've got something I want to ask.
Sorry?
Back when we used to ride horses in town, not that long ago.
Back when?
In the office report, it would always have how many many work orders were on hand and how many work orders were completed. Remember that?
No,
Well, you probably from the seashore. So can we have that, on the office report?
Yeah, I can work on that, getting that.
Starting next month, we'll make sure there's some sort of an office
Yeah.
report, basically what you guys got before.
she's, I'll be honest with you, she's behind on her office report, doing the office report like that for our meetings. She has been working diligently on the audits. We've run into a snag for 2022. And until, he thought he was going into a draft on the financials, but he ran into a snag, so until that is resolved, and she's been doing all the journaling and everything for him and trying to find paperwork and bank deposits and statements, and so it's been a lot that they've had to do trying to get through the audits, and they've worked harder on the audits because we're at a deadline. And we were asked a couple of days ago by CDPHE if our audits were still gonna be on schedule. We're hoping. We changed it from from December 31st of 24, so we extended it to March of 2025. I talked to Jim Ray a couple of days ago, and if we can get past 22, then I think we might be safe to say that we are going to meet that deadline. And so there's where Sarah has put in a lot of time. I mean, I get, and I know that people think that, a lot isn't getting done, but when you're doing the work of somebody that already got paid to do that job, that makes it really hard. And then if you don't have all the paperwork and the information there in front of you, there's just so much missing information that it makes it difficult. So, but she will have an office report complete next meeting. Okay, going on to old business. Code enforcement. Y'all tabled this, so we put it back on the agenda.
We all tabled it, but did something come up?
The sheriff?
IGA with the sheriff department?
Yeah, the town has an IGA with the sheriff's office, and he told me that we could have two officers twice a week. He thought 3, but we'll go for 2. They would do 8-hour schedules, and they would be able to do code enforcement, anything that, and it's stated on the contract. So they could do, when they're here, then they would have the opportunity to drive around and issue the violations and whatever needs to be done for the town.
When are they going to start?
He was gonna make me a schedule. I haven't gotten it from him yet.
We have a lot of cars
Correct.
running around town without a state license.
Correct. But
Some
they
don't
would,
have license.
and this was something that the board had already agreed upon, with the sheriff's department. And so Derek and I had talked about it, and he said, whatever. And I did tell him, are they going to do, because I was told that they had said, well, no, your ordinances are out of date, whatever. But whatever we have for ordinances, and there is for abandoned vehicles, vehicles that are licensed, where they're parked at, and stuff like that. They can issue those citations. Plus, we would have law enforcement.
Meantime, how about the other stuff?
What other stuff?
Well, like the yards.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever it says on there that they would do the violations and it would come, like, if, it's domestic violence or something like that, that they have to take care of, then that's different. Or arrest somebody, the court goes somewhere else. But if it's these violations for the ordinance and all them, then we would bring that Judge Garcia back and bring it back, into his court, and then we would start issuing and take it from there.
Are they gonna go around when they start? Just give them warnings, say a month's warning or something, and then after that,
I would think that the
some
town
of,
would have some type of form, or we can come up with some type of form to issue these violations. And I know that a lot of the larger cities do, when they issue a violation, it's not like you pay a fine right away. You're given ample time to rectify whatever the issue is.
Yeah, I think.
Usually it's like 15 days, I believe.
Yeah, I know Pueblo does, They do it with weeds and things like that,
Yeah.
And then the ordinance officer comes back, and then checks to see that, you cleared it up. If not, then you know what, you're cited into court. So, the choice would be theirs, whether they comply or not. So then the decision is yours, what you want to do with code enforcement, if you want to use the sheriff's department or hire someone.
Well, the way I feel about it is they're gonna be riding around watching traffic or whatever. They just will be looking at this other stuff.
That's how I saw it, when I talked to Derek and we went over it, and he explained it to me.
Sure.
have we had anybody apply for the code enforcement?
We did, they have 2 people on hold. So if we don't hire code enforcement, then we can go ahead and use the sheriff's department. And with the sheriff's department, you also have that, they can also radio in and for backup or,
Right.
If needed.
Right.
So.
Right.
So he's gonna get back to you on that.
He's gonna get back to me on the schedule. But it will be 2 days a week, and this is what they will be doing.
Well,
And I did, I'm sorry, Mr. Butterhook, but I'll tell you, I did tell him that I would also like that they would come, like on the weekend or whatever, that they do rounds in the town. We still pay, we belong to the county.
Right.
But there again, Wassenberg also told us that they may be able to do an IGA with this and it's legal, and offer some, don't, Mr. Romero, I know, I have to look at you because you're always making faces, but it said that, Stella, he said that they could probably be able to afford us some type of law enforcement too.
Well, how about if we have them do the 2 days out of the week, and then we hire our own code enforcement for the rest of the week?
I think you gotta watch on how much money you're gonna spend.
I think that would be the,
Come on, man.
Yeah, but I'm borrowing yours this time.
No, we're using your.
You're the one that retired before me. I know you have money,
Well,
Mr.
guess where
Romero.
you think my money's at? It's at the Cripple Creek.
Huh? I know where you have it hidden.
And I go visit it every now and then.
I know where you have it hidden. That's why you're by the hills.
Anyway, that's just an idea.
With the code enforcer, all they're gonna do is do the codes, enforce the code. With
Law.
with cops, law enforcement, we get more stuff out of
Traffic,
them.
everything else.
Right.
Or bang for your
Or-
buck.
When we get a marshal, then we could hire a code enforcer.
But a marshal can do a code enforcer because they're not always busy doing law enforcement,
Yeah.
I mean, the last one that you guys had, he was always at the Navajo. I used to see him myself because I drive by and wait. Huh?
Or Walsinger.
He was behind the Navajo. I could see him from my house.
Oh my God, eagle eyes. See what you guys do? So anyway, that's an idea. And Joe from Wassenberg also told me that being that they were going to bring back the police force, that if they had any extras, they'd send them our way or for that we're looking for a marshal. Ms. Downing,
What's that?
what do you think?
I would say just go with the police. Because I know with the code enforcement, we were gonna.
Run into trouble there because they don't have a bad behind them.
That's right.
And we don't need more trouble. now.
They have our authority. What good is that, Rich?
Well, I'm glad you said that, Mr. Romero. Those are your words.
I was just repeating what you were thinking.
You're right. But you said it a lot nicer.
Well, I can change the verbiage if not. Let's keep going. Right?
Yes, so what is the verdict? So we can move on to utility worker.
Sorry, I was yawning.
Oh, it was you. Sorry, are we keeping you awake?
Yes.
It was him yawning. I'm just rubbing my eyes, I can't see.
Why did motion that we go with the police?
The sheriff.
The sheriff.
Second.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas.
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
What?
Mr. Thorne,
Sí,
Yep.
sí,
No entiende.
no.
Mr. Trill.
Yes.
Utility worker.
You need another one?
No, it
Well,
was
okay, you tabled it.
tabled and then. you
So
ended up-
she had to put it,
Well, we had tabled it just to see if, Mr. Marcus was interested, because he wasn't here that day. And then you were gonna get a hold of him, and then he was gonna let us know.
well, at the end of the meeting, they hired Mr. Marcus.
Yeah, that's what,
And I asked, do you want to go back to the utility worker? And then Mr. Romero said, no, let's just, so that's why she put it on here, but we don't have anybody that's applied for utility worker anyway.
no, but let's just remove it.
Okay. That was the whole thing.
Mr. Romero was looking into something about the sewer or something.
Oh,
I had a note on it. I can't remember.
okay, sewer.
The thing is that, last meeting, we said we were going to meet with this Greg Coulter. Find out what the town could possibly do the work on the sewer pond type thing.
What did he say that day when you and I met with him? About the sewer ponds? Did he ask us to wait?
Or something.
No, him and I were, that day we had that meeting with him, remember?
Yeah.
But didn't he say just to wait because we were gonna see what we were gonna do, waiting on, Carbondale or on Carbo?
Oh, the little.
Yeah, to see how
Yes.
their, so he said we should just wait and see how their program is working.
That's only how much the unit was, right?
Mhm.
22,000.
But he also said there's grants, right?
Yes.
Because he gave me a name of a lady in Pueblo that does, grant writing.
On that sewer pond, I think we've got to kind of slow down on it till we get a grant. And we do the whole thing.
That's what he said.
We do the whole
Exactly.
thing because it,
That's exactly what
Greg said.
Greg Coulter said.
Yes.
Well, Frank and I can go over that place in Hopkins, isn't it?
I asked you and you said no.
Did-
Yeah, I asked you.
I
That
said no-
man
I
sent
said
his,
no to the augmentation.
he
pond.
sent his, no, I told you that yesterday, but
Oh, that's not,
the gentleman from up north asked if you all wanted to go meet. I asked you and you said no.
at that Cokedale thing?
Yeah, that one, Mr. Romero, but you told me no. But if you and Frank want to go, I will let him know.
Yeah, we have to tell Marty, right?
No,
No,
no, that man said he wanted to meet with you guys. If you wanted to go look at that pond in, I'll go back and find the email. But he said if you were willing to go, see how it works.
Yeah.
And, he would gladly go show you. I mean, for that kind of money, I'm sure he'd go show you.
I'm sure we will.
is that the one coming off of Cokedale on the bottom?
Well, it
of that?
is Oakdale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but I guess Mr. Romero didn't want to go because you weren't here. I don't know. Hey, you told me no.
I want to make a motion pretty damn quick.
Go ahead.
9 o'clock, we better have everything done pretty close, if not,
Sir, that's gonna be 9. It hasn't been changed.
no, it was all right.
That's right.
No, it's gonna be 9.
It is
No,
right.
it's right.
Ah, this is between me and him.
Oh, I put a new battery in it today, so it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're almost
It's not
done.
gonna
In
work
Marshall, we
tomorrow.
don't have anybody applying, so, like,
And that was put on there just because you guys tabled it and said maybe you should look at rewording the ad for commercial. So that was put back on there.
but like I said, Walsenburg's, better see if they have any extras for us. So do you and Mr. Barajas want to go to look at that sewer pond?
Yes.
We already passed that.
No, I'm just asking him, so that way he could contact the man and tell him.
And what's this guy's name? Dave?
Isn't it John?
Oh, I must be, I don't know.
You're the one that gave us the information
How long ago was it?
last month.
He had a really hard last name. I don't remember.
I
it.
have the email,
I do too.
yeah, so you can just let him know and that you two will, because he wanted to demonstrate or for you to see it.
Sure. Right.
Okay.
I'll let him know.
Okay, so now we could move on to you and call Miss Laura with Pels up. It's your turn, sorry.
She's like, I'm ready to go home.
Right?
Got some patience.
And she's still smiling.
Thank you so much for having us. My name is Laura Lustig and I'm here with my husband Lee. And we're from an organization called the Pet Assistance League Store, also known as PALS. We're a nonprofit based in Trinidad, and we do, we're a nonprofit, we do animal services, and one of our big focuses is spay neuter. So what we do is we bring in mobile units, we facilitate bringing these groups into our communities. We subsidize the surgeries to make them very inexpensive for the clients, the public. So we can get some of these animals taken care of in the community. Those are very expensive. So that's one of our main focuses. We do a lot of other things in the community, but what we're proposing is to bring one of these clinics. I would like to do a 2-day clinic here in Aguilar. And what we would need from you is a space. We had the good fortune of looking at your city garage over here, and I think that space would work perfectly for us. We've used buildings like the Trinidad Water Department building. We've used the Trinidad Gas Department building, things like that. So the city has worked with us on those projects. So we want to bring one of these clinics here to Aguilar. What we would also like to do is to bring our team and do some TNR, which is called trap, neuter, release, and that is for feral cats in the community.
How many cages do you have?
We actually have 40 traps, 40 live traps that we can set. We've been doing TNR in Trinidad very successfully for the last year and a half. We've done over 100 cats in Trinidad. So we would like to also do that during this 2-day clinic. So what we need is the space. We'd like to use your garage. We can't plan the clinic until we know we're gonna have it.
Is it a reduced fee clinic or?
What it is the groups that come, they charge us a little bit less than what a vet would charge, and then PALS through our nonprofit, we subsidize those surgeries. So we can get the surgeries down to $25 a surgery, and that includes all vaccinations and rabies shots. So you get your animal vaccinated and a surgery for $25.
So all we need is for the board to say yes.
So someone that has an animal, whether it be dog, cat, whatever it might be, they would bring their,
Cat?
yeah,
Yes.
but you're not talking about picking up strays.
No, what we would do, what we are talking about, we would like to do some TNR here in Aguilar, which means we would find where colonies, where you have a lot of cat colonies.
Yeah.
So working with the public, working with homeowners, figuring out where some big problem areas might be, setting some traps, getting those animals fixed and vaccinated, releasing them back into the community, thinning them out if we have to, as far as we've got some people who do want barn buddies and that sort of thing. So we could thin some of those out. But yeah, just TNR, trap, neuter, release. That way they're not, the population stays a little bit more under control. So we've been doing that in Trinidad for about a year and a half. So, and that's been pretty successful.
I think we have a problem with this town, with.
Especially the dogs.
Do we need to give you a certain date that you can do this on?
No,
Can
if you
furnish
guys approve it, if you'll allow us to use that space, I'm thinking probably somewhere between April and July. We would like to schedule something to happen in that time frame. It would be a 2-day clinic, so we would need that space for 2 days, and that's mostly for animal containment. We'd like to have something where we can close the doors in case a cat gets away from us, and for the security of that mobile unit. Those mobile units are pretty expensive, so we just want to have it somewhere where we can lock the door at night and know that the unit is okay. And we do have insurance for these events, so if that's a question.
How much space would you need in the garage?
We would need all the vehicles pulled out, but that's it. So just,
For a 24-hour spirit?
yeah, so we would start doing surgery, say on Friday morning at 8. We would wrap it up Saturday afternoon.
Is there any chance we could use that state building?
No,
No?
I doubt it. But yeah, I can accommodate.
I was
them.
gonna say, but you don't even know. You're safe.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be this building. It just has to be something
Well,
where we
there's
can.
another one just up the street.
Okay, we have,
Oh, I
it's a
don't know.
19-foot
And it's
RV,
vacated.
and we need to pull that in and then set up tables for recovery and that sort of thing. So this space will work if you know how big this space is in your mind. If you have any other thoughts on a space,
Well, that other one is bigger than this one.
Yeah.
You know,
perfect.
but I don't know who we could contact.
I have the lady's info. I did suggest that, but then she said this would work, but I can get a hold of I think her name's Christina tomorrow and just make sure we can use it.
They have power in it.
Whatever, I just thought it was a thought.
Oh, I don't know, but that I can ask.
Power and water would definitely be a plus.
So then
Well, and
would
that's a
it
problem
be
because there's
that
not water.
if they
Like that.
said yes, and they don't have power or water, then could we put our vehicles in there? And then they could use our garage?
Matter with the yard.
Oh, they could, I don't know.
Like put the vehicles in the yard just for overnight.
I could take the vehicles to my house and put them up in the lock gate.
That might not be a good idea because people will start saying something.
What if
in the
we just
community.
left them outside the garage door because there's a camera back there on the backside?
What we usually do with Trinidad is
We'll
we'll call a utility worker and they'll come back at the end of the night and they'll pull in some of the vehicles. The only thing the unit is about 19 feet long, so that has to stay indoors. But if you can pull other things back in, we've done that too. So Trinidad does that.
I don't see no-
We just
I'm
call
sure
them.
we can arrange something.
Yeah, we get it figured out.
We need to get it done. I mean,
Yeah.
the population around Aguilar is a little out of control.
Or the meat.
Well, not so much the cats as the dogs.
Yeah.
We're massive. So, board's approval? Can we get a motion to?
I motion to.
Second.
Second.
Bridget,
Yes.
Mr. Rojas.
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yeah.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trejo.
Yes.
Great. And then just get back with Stephanie and let her know and.
And you said April to June, your time frame?
Our timeframe, we have a clinic in Trinidad in April and then we have another one in July. I'm hoping to kind of squeeze it in between those two.
Okay.
So it'd probably be right around there.
Do you
possibly.
advertise?
We advertise and then we have an application so people can fill out the application and then we ask them to prepay, just so we don't have a lot of no-shows. But we can come in and maybe set up and have a table here and just have folks come in, sign up here one day. We'll just send a team. That's no problem. We just want to fill it and we just want to spend 2 days here really getting the population here under control. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So before you have a quote for gravel. I need to tell you where that is coming from. Now that we've had the snows and the mud's been really bad, and so some of these alleys are bad. And one of them, a lady called in, and I believe her husband has health issues, and she definitely does. And her concern is if the ambulance needs to get to, their house, they have to go up the alley before they can turn on. Their driveway is concrete, correct? But before that, it's the town's alleyway, and it's rutted and it gets like washed out. So the ambulance and them would have a hard time getting up to their place. And so he got a couple of gravel quotes.
Yes.
I called Walsenburg, but right now they're not giving out any quotes. Well, they're doing quotes, but they don't have any drivers to get anywhere. So I only have 2 quotes in front of me. And one of them is actually here local.
I don't think he would like to be called local.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, local.
Well, I seen the quotes.
Yes.
Better off getting from Robbie. He lives in town.
Support the communities.
That's what
And it's cheaper too.
Yeah, it's cheaper than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one's $198.90, and that doesn't include the tax, but Robbie said he'll do it for $180. and that's at 10 tons
Is that delivered to where?
up here at the boneyard.
No delivery charge?
No delivery
There's
charge.
nothing
He
on
did
it.
not say, no, Robbie did not say nothing about a delivery charge, but there is a fuel charge from Leone
Yeah, I
of
seen that.
$18.90.
Yeah, I seen all of that, because everything went up to hundred and
And
ninety-eight.
there is a delivery charge that they charge $45 for it.
Robbie's price got to include delivery.
Yes, it does. That's why I was saying Leone's is the one that has the delivery charge and a fuel charge, but Robbie did not.
You know, the alleyway that, Brenda, that you're talking about there, is if you drive up to that lady's Main, go up, and once you get to the top and you turn to the left, that's the road that is really bad. 'Cause I went through there the other day, and it's got ruts in it like you would not believe.
And that's when you went up that one
Yeah,
alleyway.
you go up by her house, turn to the left.
That's what they also said too, because I'm gonna tell you, when they told me, cause she had been calling me, and when they told me what the lady wanted, I just said, well, okay, so if we do that, that's gonna open up. But like the girls told me, you know, it's the town's responsibility to maintain these alleyways.
Yep.
And the streets are really horrible right now. I have no more road base at all,
One of the
so I
things
can't
that
do anything.
we need to start thinking about is fixing that grader. We don't get that grader fixed, how are we gonna get the roads fixed?
I've been doing it with the backhoe.
Yeah,
As
that
best as I
grader,
can.
all it needed was that cable.
From,
Yeah, we just need to take that off and
Yeah,
measure it.
take it off, you have to have the right length.
Yes,
They can make one, you know.
that's what I was thinking.
because Derek could do the grading, right?
Like I said, it has to be the right length, if it's off, it won't work. There's a place in,
Parkwest.
Aurora, where they have all that stuff, that
Okay.
Parkwest will do it, because that's what Derek told me. Says all you gotta do is take it over there, and they'll cut one for you. Right
Where?
there. Parkwest and Trinidad.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's another place in Provo, I know they work on a lot of motorcycles and stuff, but Togoat also makes cables.
Well, okay, so what are we doing on the gravel?
My motion, I would take Mr. Padino's bid.
Roll call?
How soon can he get it delivered, you know?
Mayor Pro Tem,
I'll call him tomorrow.
Yes.
Mr. Bravos,
yes.
I'll call him
Ms.
first thing in the
Jonas?
morning.
Yes.
Mr. Romero.
Yes.
Wait,
Mr. Trio.
Yes.
your next one.
You know, as we're talking about gravel, later on down the road, should we be thinking about road mix? Gonna need some eventually.
I do have some road mill up there still. It's not very much, but I have a little bit. Should I get a quote on
Robbie's
that
got some,
too?
doesn't he?
Yeah,
Robbie has some down there, I think. Doesn't he?
he usually does.
Yeah, he's got some down there.
Well, that's, I don't know. You haven't asked him how much.
You can ask him.
But yes, I'll call Robbie in the morning and see how quick he can get it delivered.
Are you gonna need help taking that cable off with a grader?
No, I'll get it.
Okay.
So,
I can't promise on how quick it's gonna get done because I'm still working on rereads and there's a few things that I need to get done right away.
Maybe Derek can help you.
Yes, I'll ask Derek tomorrow.
okay, the next one is, for Rich to get OQ in gas, so he'll tell you.
So I got a I've been talking to this Ally, she's down in Texas, and I know you all got this paper here. The girls are looking into seeing if we need to have a plan review and design.
Sorry, I didn't give you a copy.
She already
so- This is the news post, so-
Okay.
and the board has that, I believe. Oh, no, it's a different one.
So really, for me to move forward, I guess we just need to, file for the license, and then I'll start taking the classes.
And
If
how
we
long
want
would
to move forward with this, because I do know that we have to have this done before December. LQ and gas,
And we have this year to get it done.
yes.
how long are the classes?
I can't tell you that.
Program.
They didn't give me that information. They just told me to come to the board and find out about what we need to do. And I've already started, I started training with Calvin from Walsenburg. We did 3 meter changeouts on Tuesday, I want to say. So that's going toward my training of
He
doing
did it with
gas.
Calvin.
We got 3 meters changed out that were not working.
So this training is not gonna interfere with your work or what situation?
No,
No, what?
no, it will not interfere.
You gonna do it online?
Yes,
And this training is gonna be on your own time or is it gonna be on town time?
Yeah.
we'll have to have it on town time probably. But there's a few days a week, I mean, besides, the end of the month, where I can take a couple of days or even a day and do some training online. As long as I get it done before December, we'll be in the clear.
So say you're working regular time and then you do a couple of hours training, you're gonna have a couple of hours overtime.
No, no, I'll just use it throughout the day. If I got downtime, I'm in between projects, or if it's a slow day,
Right.
then I can go ahead and if I have to work on it all day and there's nothing going on, no calls, then I'll just work on that and get it done.
He also did, he worked on that sewer line with Eric, and so instead of getting overtime, Stephanie had him take a day off during the week. He just did the chores and then he was off the rest of the day to compensate for being a spotter, as Mr. Romero suggested.
I did.
You did?
Must have been sleeping.
I don't know, that I think I'm gonna have to start doing this to you when we talk.
I think we got to keep him out of the rednecks down there.
We have to keep him out of River Creek.
Somebody better,
What are we gonna require of Richard to remain honorable to this and pay for it?
That was one of the things that we had talked about, but we just not come up with something that would, like, he's not just gonna get his gas license and leave us. Yeah, so we have to, either the town has to come up with something or have the attorney do some type of agreement between Rich and the town.
Now, what I was told before, I don't remember who it was, but it was if they paid for, if you guys paid for the licenses, that I'd have to stay for 2 years. But I'm not planning on going anywhere.
No, I think it was, I don't think it was just something that, they were tossing around and saying that, with the water license and the gas license, that, they come, they get them, and then they're gone. and, the town loses out.
Yes.
What if we did something like a three-year
How about
requirement?
She goes, come on.
Leaves the town within those 3 years, she's got to replace it.
That would have to be something you could just send it to the
It's
lawyer.
only $36.
Ask her.
Especially there.
No, I'm just saying, it's something that we could have the attorney look at.
He wants your life.
Okay,
We're not friends, there's no lead here.
What's your birthday?
Well, I'm buying a house here, so, I'm
Yeah, we're
not planning on
buying a
going
house,
anywhere
so
anytime soon, okay?
That's all right.
Suckered me in.
I live next to this guy over
It was Gerald's fault.
We're on the track. Online.
All the classes and all the training is online, except for the field training, which I'll have to do. I did talk to Calvin, and Calvin said when he gets ready to do his training, because he's got to recertify some guys this year, that he's gonna call me and let me know what day, so I can take a day out of here and go up there and do training, which will put me on field training time as well.
Okay, now what we need from the board is approval, and you should have gotten this for the amount of $884.35 for, Rich's license,
So are we going to?
or his classes, should I say.
So are we going to talk to the lawyer to see about some type of amendment to his employment?
We can do that.
Or we're gonna take his word that, no disrespect, but just, his word that he's not going to just get his license and then up and.
And I don't have a problem with you guys going in front of the board, but I do know one thing, that this is very important that the town gets done.
No, I'm not saying not holding off on it, I'm just saying, are we going to, do we approve it and then?
And then send it to the attorney and then get it signed.
I'll sign an agreement, whatever.
Say
whatever
in
it
6
takes.
months he leaves,
Yeah, that's what
we
I'm
take
saying.
that money,
Then,
so we wanna,
then I would have to pay it back.
well,
Oh, that's not the point though, I mean.
But yes, I
I know,
understand
the man
what you're
has some
saying.
integrity,
Yeah.
but still, we've had people that
No,
have come
you're
in
right.
and gotten in left.
Yeah, and that's just what I'm kind of.
And I know the sooner that he gets his class, the better we're gonna be.
But I'm not saying to hold off on it, because if we get it.
We do have to get it, but we also, well, you can always approve it. And with the stipulation, Mr. Romero, that
what?
That we will get.
that the attorney will, draw up a contract that is, that
Amending
the
his-
board and he agreed upon,
Suitable for the
on,
town.
Yeah,
for his employment.
And like I said, there's no disrespect to you, sir.
No, I totally get it. Trust me, I get it. I understand.
So I make a motion that we approve it,
I'll second it.
And
as long as what, we'll allow it pertaining to the attorney's approval.
no,
I mean, he can take the course now, but once we get the contract from the attorney, he sign it.
That's,
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with that at all.
okay.
I just know that we need to get it done because we're in desperate need of a gas person.
Do I
Sooner the
have a
better.
second? Roll
Let
call?
that record
Mayor
it.
Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Rojas.
Yes.
Ms. Galna,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trejo.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Romero.
Okay,
Can I have my coat back? I'll make you a copy. I forgot to.
where's Bill?
Sorry,
We're gonna go, okay, so you all have a picture in front of you, okay, or in your packet. I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Garcia came the other day and told me that there was flying objects and they had nails. Well, my question to the board is, do you want to keep that building? Or would you rather just get rid of it? I don't know what you want to do with it, but if you look at the picture, and then if you look underneath it, the board's already paid for repairs to that building. And I don't see where anything was done. It never was re-roofed.
Mark, yeah, you want to see me to say it one more time? Mark Piano and his buddy down there, what's his name? Huh?
Roger.
Got paid to put a roof on that thing.
Okay, but my question is, what do you all want to do with it? I mean, apparently.
It's of no use to us.
No.
Is there something in there?
There's a car in there.
Oh, what do they have cars?
There's an SUV and.
And I'm just, that what's attached is, you know, the money that the town paid, and obviously there was no services done to that building, and I'm not sure what we need to do with it.
There's also material there on the side, I guess they were gonna use for a roof on it.
Well, that's used material. I looked at that, it's full of holes.
The town paid for new material. We have a bill here from this Metal Mart or something in Pueblo. And that's why I said, the town paid for all these services or supplies, and if you look at the picture, there, nothing was done.
What happened to the material?
That metal, right out Sue's house up there where Piano lived. Okay, they worked on the house, but there was a lot of panels outside of the yard.
Next to the road.
That's right.
And when we got on it, then we had to move it. Somebody moved it, somebody took them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
And it's all history now.
See,
The guy that was on, utility worker was Mr. Coca.
Yes, and I spoke with him, and he said that he had spoke with Mr. Baudino and Joe Torres and asked them about moving it in the truck, I'm assuming the white one, and that he was told not to move it because it was so long, and I did let Mr. Baudino know this. And John did say, yes, that the material was laying outside Sue's fence, but he, Mr. Baudino and Joe Torres was on the board at the time, said that they were gonna move it. And the material, you can see it was delivered to Mark Piano at 406 Pinion, which is Sue's address.
That's right.
And it was paid for December 22nd with the debit card. But apparently John said that he mentioned it a few times to you, Mr. Baudino and Joe, and that he said he was finding like whatever, he didn't worry about it, and it was gone. I did ask him if he thought it was used over there. He said he thought they were two different colors. And actually my brother Anthony's the one that did the roof. So from what I've gotten, it was there. And I don't know if the insinuation that is that John took it, but I know he did not. So whether, I don't know what happened to it, but it was left there. Also, I did look to see if anybody was paid for the roof. And it looks like in 2020, Mr. Walters was paid almost $1,700 in 2020 to repair the roof. And you guys have a copy, it was highlighted. But I don't understand why he was paid in 20 and then the material wasn't ordered till 22. So, but there's nothing in 22, nothing but what the printout shows for Mr. Walters for doing the roof after 2020. Yet the material was ordered in 22 with the town's debit card. So I don't know what happened.
I guess moving forward, that stuff is all history, you know, I mean,
Exactly.
I think we all understand that.
Yeah.
So now we just need to move forward and whatever we want to do with the building, we need to do.
That's why I'm asking, I don't know if
We'll
you
sell it
just,
to Dickie.
Sell it to somebody and only send something back.
you wanna buy it?
No. He
It
can,
costs
No,
so much to
yeah.
repair it.
Huh?
You give it
no,
to me.
Mr. Romero's buying it.
There's a difference between, do you wanna buy it
No.
or do you want it?
I'll-
And I asked, do you wanna
I'll
buy
sit here
it?
and complain about it until it's down.
So I don't know, what does the board want to do with that building?
Well, if we don't need it, we can just sell it.
What are you gonna do with the car?
Well, who does it
Take it
belong
over
to?
there with the other junks we have up there.
Oh,
Right up there at the yard.
Yeah.
well, we still need to find out where that property belongs to that one lady
Where, Monica?
that I brought in. Because she has a place on Romero. If this place is hers, she has because remember I brought that paper in?
I have it, it's her deed, but I think that's basically, she needs to have a survey done because we can't tell her where it is. I have no
And see that
clue.
she's been paying on that, taxes on that for years and
That
years and years.
shed?
No, I'm not saying this is the shed, I'm saying her property, the town took a certain amount of property from her when they
Oh,
got
this
over
is a
there.
different
Yeah.
When they did
situation.
what?
They exchanged a piece of property so that they can pull in their vehicle right there by the yard.
Oh,
So they took so much property away from her and they gave it in exchange for another piece of property. And she's been paying on it for
is that,
20 years and
what's
she
her
doesn't,
name?
I have no
she has
idea.
no idea where that property both is. Maria.
Maria.
Yeah, she has no idea where that property is. I brought in
The tax
from the
paper,
tax,
yeah.
but nobody can tell her where that property is.
That's the first I ever heard of that.
Not even the county assessor.
Nope, they said that she has talked to the town. But she's been paying on it for more than 20 years and she has no idea where that property is.
What the heck?
It's lot 13 or something lot 13. I think.
And I think we have
13,
looked at our map in there, but we
Yeah,
can't.
Do you have an address? Have an address?
Yeah, they have an address. They gave it to, it was an exchange, the town exchanged the piece of land.
Yeah, better check on
Yeah,
that first.
they exchanged the piece of land in order to take a piece of her land.
This
in
is
the back.
where the garage is,
Yeah.
not this.
No, this.
No,
this
no,
is
no,
not
no,
this.
no, not
Yeah.
this. No, I don't.
But nobody can tell her where it is. She's asked Piano, she's come in here, she asked Mr. Gonzalez, and all they say is, we have no idea where it's at.
You doesn't know that?
No,
No,
no.
that's a different
No, no.
one.
Different, this is up above up there, where you go in the gate to go in, where we got all the stuff stored, up there, not this.
Oh.
No.
So I'm not saying it's this place, but I just don't know, and I've been asking, she's been asking, and nobody,
Oh, darn, I don't know.
nobody can find
Well,
out.
I guess we'll have to look into that one
Yeah, we'll have
and
to
get her an
dig into
answer,
that Some way, somehow.
okay? So what does the board want to do with that building?
I think just sell it, if we don't need it.
How much you want for it?
We gotta find, like I said, we gotta
How
find
much
out
do you want
first.
for
I don't know.
We gotta find out what the.
Is this on Main Street?
No, that's right.
It's behind the Lane Barbino's house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Across the street from where Dickie lives.
it? Straight across.
So where are you gonna move it to?
What, the building? No, it's gonna get torn down.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Are we just selling the building or the property?
Well, that's where he says he buy the
I don't
building.
know
that's
how
about
much
it.
property is there.
We have the property, not the building. You have to move the building.
Could the town utilize it for storage of anything?
No,
No, the roof leaks.
there's not no roof.
There's no roof on it.
There's.
Did you see
big
the
old
picture?
The
And every
building is
time
wide
the
open,
wind
Wide
blows,
open.
every time the wind blows,
I need to
it
get that.
goes in Mr. Garcia's
The
yard.
building may go down. It's in bad shape.
Do we know Marshall vehicles in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, which one though?
I think it's the old silver one.
No,
No,
it's
it's
The
black.
one that's out of service.
Oh, the matted one that Colin used.
Well, then I better get that thing out of there.
It's gonna go down. It's bad.
I guess maybe nothing. There it goes.
Okay. I don't know what you
Does it
guys,
have sewer and water?
I don't know what you guys want to do with that building, but,
Well, we can get it, let's see what it is valued at,
okay.
and then from there, we'll just go from there.
So are we going to table that? until we can get a value on it.
And make sure it doesn't belong to Maria, that's not hers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
have a
true.
legal description, but I mean,
Yeah, like I said, nobody knows where this property is.
And you have,
I have the
all the
paperwork.
information,
Yeah.
okay.
So we'll just wait on that until we find out. And then in the meantime, what the value of that property is?
Okay. So can I get a motion?
We should table it or right now?
Yep.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Broughus.
Yes.
Ms. Gelman,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Trio.
Yes.
okay.
Okay. So. Bye, good evening, thank you. So we need to do the bills, approval of the bills. And then, the last thing on there will be, if you have questions on the delinquents, if not, we'll discuss this.
I have a question on the bills. Did we have to pay another late fee for gas?
Yes, he took it out. He took it out, correct?
Yes, he's waiving it, he's not charging us a late
He
fee
came in and
anymore.
we met him, and then,
No, he took it off our account.
he told her about how, not to pay online and stuff, and she told him about the delinquent, and he said, I'll take care of it, and he did.
Will we be billed for it the next time though?
No, I believe he removed it off our account going forward, so there wasn't a late fee on this last bill we got for the 21,000. It's so high because of everybody's gas.
Because we
usage.
had that cold spell, and then also, again, the town is picking up that extra, usage on the gas. And the town can't afford that. Same thing with water and everything else, hookups, all the utilities. But anyway, that's for another day, so let's get on with the bills. Oh, did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Thank you.
I got one.
Yes, sir.
So we were talking about increases.
We're gonna have a meeting.
Talk about what?
We have to have a rate study, so
First.
we have a meeting next Wednesday with the lady from.
Colorado.
Yes, it's not the CDPHE, she's another agency she works with, but we're gonna have a meeting with her. So basically, we're on hold with everything till the audits are
Is that
done.
lady that was here that one night?
One of them,
Yes.
Everhart, yes,
And then
yes,
she will do the rate study.
yes. So she's gonna talk with us Wednesday to let us know how to get the ball rolling, but till the audits are done, that's on hold as well, is what they said the other day.
I motion we approve the bill unless anyone else has any questions.
I can't believe that Mr. Romero didn't ask about check 13223.
132 what?
13223.
It's too late for him to ask any questions. I already motioned.
I second.
It hadn't been seconded.
We beat you to the punch, Mr. Romero.
Let's vote.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Mr. Broughus.
Yes.
Ms. Gelman,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Say yes, Romero.
Yes, Romero.
Mr. Trio.
Yes.
Okay, so delinquents, they're down quite a bit from when we first started. And so therefore, Those are outstanding invoices. Mr. Romero. Those were from outstanding invoices, if you're talking about, what I think you're talking about. Okay, so what isn't it now like almost $6,000 on delinquents?
Yes, I think when everybody started, it was roughly 19, 20,000. So I'm trying to get everybody, so I'm down to 13,000. What is it? 13,547.82. So I'm trying to get everybody caught up. And I mean, I don't have very many payment plans. The majority of these, if you look, are current for this month. So by the time I do red tags and turn offs next week, the majority, I usually end up with probably 40 red tags for all the delinquents at the end of the month. And by the time I turn off, I might have 8, 10 on a bad month. So usually everybody who says current gets paid before I have to start turning people off. And I did have LEAP applied today, so it's probably about $500-600 less than what that amount shows there. I hadn't got my LEAP applied until I did my report today. But I'm working on them.
So now you want to talk about that letter. Let me tell you, we can talk about it, but we cannot name names. Okay. So what is your question?
Well, still.
He's talking about this one.
Appropriate for the town to be billing them for something that they had nothing to do with.
Yes, sir. They're the property owners.
Yeah, but all of this happened before the end.
It doesn't matter. They're the property owners.
Really?
That was why he's upset, because, you know, it's one of those that every time that okay, let me put it this way. We are correcting, this is where everybody's getting upset. We're correcting what was done prior to. We have nothing to do with any of the stuff that we're doing, okay? This is all has been done with prior administration, council, whatever. But now it's our turn to get the town's money and to make the corrections. And this is where everybody's getting mad at us, you know, and we're not doing anything wrong. I did send it to the attorney because I told her we're not, and we're not going to argue this, okay? And we're not.
I'm not trying to argue.
No, I'm not saying you, I'm saying other people, you know, because every time that we do something with this certain place, it's always that we're picking on him. It's a vendetta. It's, I don't like it. That's not true. That is not true. But this money was owed to the town. What is it? 40?
It was close to $4,000.
$4,000 was owed on utilities, okay? The property was sold and it never got paid, okay? And so therefore, if, and this is true, even as a renter, if you sell your property and utilities are owed, the person that bought your property or just inherited your utility bill because they are the property owners.
And usually that's what a real estate agent does, is research the property, because if there is a lien on that property, they have to be notified.
No, the lien just happened.
Well, still, it's been on the property, I mean, prior to.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, it has, no, it was just put on the property. And I'm saying, you know, it's everything that we do. we're doing it to recover the money that is owed to the town that somebody else did, okay? And in the process, you know, we're the ones that are the bad person. I'm not a bad person. I'm doing what's right for the community, and I'm getting back the money that is owed to this town. This has gone on far too long. You know, too many people got away with so much stuff, and they didn't pay for it. Or it's not paid for, or it's, you know, today I'll give you 2 rabbits for, you know, no, we don't do that anymore. And it's the town that has had to pay for this in the long run, and we don't have the money. We don't. You know, even with the gas, that should have been changed years ago.
Yep.
You know, and there again, the town's picking up the bill. That's not fair. It's not fair to the people in the community, and it's not fair that they think that we're doing something wrong. We're not. And another thing that I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to be very clear about this, you know, I'm so tired of one board member that keeps involving themselves in this business. You know, and no, that's not our job.
That's why I brought it up before the board.
Well, isn't that in the trustee handbook?
You know, I'm just saying, you know, our job is not to get involved with them like that. You know, it needs to come, you know, if the people have an issue, then bring it to the board. It's not our job to be, you know, doing all this.
That's why I brought it up before the board, because I wanted to know what the board felt.
I don't even know if the board even read it. But I'm telling you because I read it, and I'm like, I'm not sending this, but I've already told you, you know, a building was built without a permit. You know, there's just so many things, and we're the ones that are having to correct it. And that makes us the bad person. Well, I'm not a bad person.
Yeah. As long as we're following the rules.
We're following the rules. We're not doing anything that is illegal. If I have a question, I will ask Adam and Mandy. But I'm not doing anything. And like he said, and then he got mad, and he said, you know, and then he brought up, you know, about the bins and whatnot. And I'm like, no, I'm not here to argue with you. And I'm not going to, because he sent him the letter, and he said, and I believe he sent the letter to the board, and it was confidential.
Yeah.
The attorney did, so that the board would know what the letter was. And I know that maybe, I don't know if you're getting your emails, but if not, then you need to get them, you know, fixed. We fixed well, I didn't. They fixed Monica's the other day so that she can get her emails and stuff. And here, when the attorney sends us something, a memo or anything, you know, it's to us directly. This is not to be shared with the public, and it says on there. And there has been items, because the water attorney sent it to me. Excuse me, he sent a memo to the board in September of last year. That memo got out to the newspaper. And that was confidential.
I was gonna say, how the hell did that happen? Never mind.
Right, thank you. But anyway, that's where this is. And yes, they're not the only ones. There's other ones that, you know, if there's that same person, and it was when you're an employee, you do what your supervisor directs you, right? And this is what has transpired, and where the arguments have come, and this is where we've come to this resolution.
I got one other little thing then. In this thing, it talks about cutting up Main Street to do the work. My question is, why in the heck didn't they go to Church Street that has a sewer line running through it already?
It was for the water line. They had to cut up Main Street.
Well, that's what they cut it up for.
Yeah, it was the water line.
Wait, this is the part, let me tell you, Mr. Romero, this is the part that there was just too many things that were done that the town had to pay for and has paid for. And it was authorized, you know, by someone that didn't have the authority. That is exactly what I mentioned to the one lady earlier today about, that letter. And I said, nowhere could we find that the board had approved it. So those are the things that we've had to deal with. Those are the things that make us look like bad people. And with that, Mr. Romero, if I satisfied your question,
I got one more.
okay. You're the one that said 8 o'clock, I didn't. So those were your
No, I
words.
figured 8:30 would be a good time.
No, go ahead.
You guys remember when Mark Cano had that damn water leak down
We don't remember nothing.
Which
one?
That's my comment, not yours.
No, which one?
The one down there by the sewer pump.
No.
There was a water leak down there. The town was losing water like crazy. And somebody had left a faucet running down at the damn stock tank down there. And I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of gallons we lost because of that. The town did. So Mark never paid, I don't think, for that, but was a lien put on the property.
Would that be the property on Lynn Road?
No,
No.
this is right across from the sewer ponds.
And I don't know how long ago that was, but as I know there were.
It's been a while.
See, I don't,
They took everything out of there, but still, we lost all that water because and nobody ever put in a lien against the property.
See, but this is, okay, so let me tell you. They're learning as they go. And I'm learning as we go because they were told to do these things. Okay?
And I'll say in my defense, when this whole situation that we're talking about happened, I tried to put a lien and I was told I was not to, it would be paid when the sale went through. So as soon as things switched hands, I brought everything to Erlinda immediately, and then that's when she took it to the attorney. But there were 2 separate properties that I was directly told do not file liens. And I mean, Sarah can vouch for that I did try to file them.
That's what I'm saying. I know that everybody, talks about them and picks on them and writes stuff about them and stuff like that, but they don't know what these 2 have been through also. I'm not saying they're angels by far, I'm not, but.
Definitely not perfect, but we're trying.
But I'm just saying that is just a part of what we've been going through and trying to fix. And if the board doesn't have any more questions, can I entertain a motion to,
Oh yeah, what the whole thing?
Put in for code enforcement, I believe, that if we're not doing code enforcement.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Second.
Gerald, adjourned.
Okay. He did.
Mayor Pro Tem? Yes. Mr. Bro? Yes. Ms. Galvin? Yeah. Mr. Romero?
Yes.
Mr. Krueger?
Adjourned, 8:35. Okay, so I have to tell you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone